Welcome, 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 welcome. As we go into the story of the Acolyte, we've arrived. 8 episodes of this on Disney Plus, Star Wars The Acolyte, episode 8, which is titled The Acolyte. Some said it was titled Doom. Then it was episode 8. If you watched it last night, they didn't even title it yet. And then now they've changed it to The Acolyte. So now, where can I begin? Watching one of their better episodes has been since this has happened. You saw a lot of things transpiring in the situation, and once you've seen the level of you know of how far people were willing to go with this series, you start seeing directions and political changes and movements, but all of these moves were rather predictable. Um, the dialogue was bland, characters were bland, and they just didn't flush out. As the Ocean May situation, okay, they're separate. So does that mean if one gets hurt, the other one feels it? We haven't really saw that. We haven't seen if one is sick, the other one is sick. So if they're the same person as it was explained in this, why is that not the case? We saw Jedis not act like Jedis through this entirety of it, including Master Soul. This whole series just made it look like, well, maybe the Sith is really the good guys here. All along. Why you think I'm a Sith? We roll with the Sith. Because the Jedis are agenda based, just like anything else, and they will lie, cheat, and steal to protect an agenda. But why? It doesn't even make sense for them to even be against the agenda when if you're going to propel one lie, just tell what actually happened. The Jedi Council wasn't going to give a F about what actually happened. The whole thing of what went down, they weren't going to care. You got the girls, well, the information that you got on the thing that made y'all say we got a virgins in the force, it's enough to bring in front of the council. They could say, yeah, even with one of them, you could say there's a virgins in this force. Her test is going to test off the charts. She was created through the force. How did somebody do that? That's something that needs to be investigated. But since they couldn't get to the idea of how these witches were able to do this, to bend and create life through the force, now you're looking at a situation where, okay, we got more questions to answer because everybody was screaming, where's Master Yoda with all this, death happening with Jedis? How can he not feel it? Maybe it needed to be more people for him to really feel it. And this is just too small of a group for Master Yoda to feel it. But a lot of people had a lot of questions that people just weren't getting answers from. So now if we look at the main stage, we're looking at an event that didn't make a lot of sense from the get-go. This was something that was supposed to make us feel good about Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars series we've seen that's like non-Skywalker related. That's live action. So should be good. And now it takes us down a path where it just pisses all over the Skywalker story. And it's like, well, if these people were to do it 100 years prior, what are they in a new timeline? Is this another timeline? Okay, then we go to another timeline because that's the only way this is going to make sense because this is going to piss on the Star Wars story. So the way this goes, they've already shown us the episode, which was a wasted week of 7, explaining to us what we already knew, that we just actually see it played out. Kanaka went crazy, blah, blah, blah. So now it starts off with Soul talking to May. So, May, you understand now why I had to do it. I had to intervene. I had to save you and Osha. So this man Soul, who went through this whole performance to say how he had to intervene, we still haven't seen a reason why he had to intervene. His intervention is what caused the problem. So where was the need for him to have to intervene? There never was a real need for him to have to intervene. It didn't make any sense. He chose this route. He chose and made this decision to go down this path. Nobody else made this decision for him. He made it for himself. Now, if you start looking at passageways or something to make any kind of sense out of this, Master Soul was the biggest fool of this entire series. I mean, his character was nothing like a Jedi. I don't think he even read about what a Jedi actually is. Everything about Master Soul was emotion. He was so goddamn emotional. The Jedi, to be a master Jedi, burying your emotions is part of the effing job. Why the hell? I'm quite sure they have grabbed this man since he was. They grabbed this man since he was on the sidelines. You know what I'm saying? Like they grabbed this man off of. They grabbed this man off of the floor. In other words, like they took this dude and said, "Hey, you know what? We gonna grab you off the floor, and you gonna come in here." And he was just like, "I'm gonna play this my way. I'm learning English just to play this part. Then I go back to Squid Game." So he learned English to come over here to do these 8 episodes where he can just show all of his emotions and grit. And he did. I mean, as a character, he went all out with Soul. Soul is totally split about what has happened, but how did this man become a master Jedi being this emotional? He was emotional through all of his stages. How? When it comes to this, he becomes undone. And every action he's done is against the Jedi code without even thinking about it. He was trying to protect Osha, but his protection ended up in failure every turn. Like their interference led to what? All of this, all the witches killed, her life is destroyed. And you think, oh, she's going to be a Jedi now? This is going to make things better for her? You just wiped out her entire family. So it just really went crazy. So May breaks out, shocks Master, don't know anything's going on, can't sense anything. His sense of perception is just off. So he doesn't even sense May is making a move. She gets free, stuns him. She goes and gets on a doggone uh, escape portal ship, breaks off from the main ship. And when he's about to capture her, for some weird reason, the doggone little possum Snoopy from doggone Peanuts is and just sabotages the damn ship for whatever the reason is. It's like, who do you work for? And now you're helping May? What the hell wrong with you? So now May, of course, crashed another ship. Well, wasn't even her there last time. It was OSHA. Now she's crashes the ship and it does nothing. It just bounce off the ground. I said, wow, okay. So she crashes onto the planet. He crashes on, well, he lands safely on the planet after going through this space dust that has no effect. So now the whole situation has changed. And now the direction has changed, and a lot of people have to figure out what's going to happen next, right? Meanwhile, OSHA is with her pimp daddy, who she want to get up with him and grab his abs, and they're trying to create this sexual chemistry with them, like they in love and all this craziness. Like there's gonna be a story like this is gonna be like Anakin and Padme, but Padme with powers. Now it seems like she could do something he can't do. Kill a Jedi without using a weapon. Now she starts basically killing him. And you start to see something happens to Quagmire's eyes. His eyes turn completely black, like one of the Night Sisters. So while she had the mask on, and he was trying to get that helmet off of her because she couldn't control her power. She was just basically choking out anything in front of her. So he had to get the mask off her, and she saw the future. She saw May, and May had a lightsaber in her hand, and she was going to kill So. So they go out together on a mission on who can get to her first. Without even knowing what their mission was. Like, what was going to be her response to locating and finding May? So what does she want to do? That scene made no sense to me. A lot of it didn't add up. So for me, it was like looking into a scenario that wasn't going to be ideal and perfect, and it wasn't set up properly. Now, if I look at the grand scheme of where they're trying to go, it's like, oh, let's wait to season 2. Have a great season 1 or a good season 1 to get people intrigued about season 2. Don't give me like little snippets to say, oh, we're going to give you photo teasers of what to look for next season. Uh-oh, there it is. Dark Plagueis the Wise, who just shows up and this creepy look to say, haha, look at me. I'm in the Acolyte season 1. Don't say I wasn't here. There I am. Darth Plagueis the Wise. Ha. I'm not going to say any words. I'm just going to look real creepy. I just want to watch those two get in that water. Yeah, that gets me off. No one even knows I'm here. I'm sitting in the shadows. So while Darth Plagueis the Wise sits in the shadows right there by the rock, undetected by any of them in its appearance, we're sitting here stuck in a story that doesn't seem to be moving progressively well. So we have the former, who's now in charge of the Jedi now, this lady, who is going by the fact that she's like leading an investigation. Yeah, we got Night Eyes, leading what he's actually doing in this scenario, and we'll see where that goes down the road. But yes, Night Eyes is doing his thing of being Night Eyes. Now, as they decide to go on this mission together, and they're gonna go and see the race to who can get to her first. So now crashes on the planet. You have Darth Plagueis, you know, how what they're gonna do to his character and screw it all up. I have no idea, but him being in the movie was like, okay, well, in the finale was like, okay, well, he's here. Let's see if he has any input. And I don't. He's just in the shadows. I mean, they got him looking like Darth Plagueis the Wise. He at least looks the part. We only wish he played a part. But then again, we probably don't. Because if they screw up Darth Plagueis the Wise and his character and who he is and what he represents, then we're going to be constantly dealing with this nonsense. Now, this is the master we're talking about, as she's secretly holding meetings and everything, and she's got to deal with the council on why she's been not informing people. Is they've been finding out things like, I guess some of the Jedi went back and leaked to the Senate, like, hey, some stuff going on here, and we ain't telling nobody. So she has to reply to her brother, who basically wants the Jedi out. But she reports that, hey, since this is a Jedi matter and it's only been Jedi killed, this is a Jedi matter. So we'll deal with this. No need to report to the Senate. Because she's trying to hold this thing together as people in Republic wants the Jedi out. Not everybody is comfortable with their positions because there's a lot of crooked people in the Senate. So now you have a scene where all of them are there. He turns on his beacon so that green haired woman can come there and see him. And the episode leads to a big lightsaber fight between Smilo Ren and there's the little Snoopy from the Peanut Gallery, who just all of a sudden just turns. She finds him, said, let's go. Get your stuff, get your gear, let's go, weird guy. So weird guy's on his way, who always questions everything. Are we doing this? Are we stopping for pizza? May actually told Soul to see you in hell or something. So there is a hell in Star Wars. So even in a galaxy far, far away, there's a heaven and hell. Now, as they have a super lightsaber guy duel where Smilo Ren is battling Soul. This was my part that I liked the most out of it was these two fighting. This made no sense. The twins fighting each other is like so retarded. But there they are, fighting each other just for fan, entertainment. Makes no sense. Mostly, this was a lot better than that, but it seems like the same choreography was used. I mean, these two did a better lightsaber duel than anything I've seen in Star Wars so far. You know, them having right the style and the look, and them coming up close. For them to have an up close battle, and you could see what's happening here. And in this movement, you can clearly see this is a stunt double. Look at the shot. I mean, they don't even try to conceal like this is somebody else. This stunt double is like a black man. Look at he damn near a black man. I'm like, okay. I saw this in real time. I'm like, that ain't soul. That dude got soul. That ain't SOL. That's SOUL. Look at him. That's a brother. So anyway, he comes in, takes a swing, miss. And look, he comes in with a swing again. None of this is him. They do a whole scene, and it's the brother doing it. Now we got Soul again. Now we got the SOL guy. He's back. Now, here's where the dynamics change because I want people to realize that there is a dynamic here. The dynamic that's happening here is that Soul is actually not what he people think he is. He is really a person that is conflicted with emotion that has caused all this nightmare. And he killed the mother and all this stuff. But May started the fire. It don't really mean anything. They're all at fault. So whatever Soul did, why wouldn't they just explain this and everything? Why wouldn't he go to the council? So anyway, there's a big thing that kicks off. She kills Soul for killing her mom, and then Soul is dead. And then Green Lady finds the planet. She comes there, and then she realizes, oh my God, this dude took his helmet off for no damn reason. You know, he was there so that the Jedi couldn't control or wipe his mind or see anything in his past. Takes his helmet off. And then when the Jedi lady arrives, she uses the Force and she feels him. He goes, oh, snap, let me put my helmet back on. Too late now, dummy. She knows where you are. So now they got to report to the council. They want to know what's going on here. As to erase all of this backstory log, she says goodbye. They wipe the memory. These two become a couple, and he's going to train her. She says, I'll agree to let you train me because I've seen you naked, and you can train me to be naked with you. I mean, what are you training her to do? She can choke people with the Force and kill a Jedi without using her hands. She's converted already to the dark side as the lightsaber turned red, and she's converted to crystal by doing so. You know, I thought that was cool the way they did that with the lightsaber. Now she's gonna say, well, I'm gonna cover up your lie with another lie. So sorry, my friend, but I gotta use your lie to cover and save the Jedi. So that makes sense. This whole thing makes the Jedi look so corrupt. I don't even know how or why there would even be a Jedi fan left. Nobody acted like Jedis. And then, oh, yeah, there you go, creepy man. Then we had the back of Yoda's head, who made him look a lot older than what he looked like in Phantom Menace. Yoda must have went and got himself a facelift. He looked super old in that one. I'm like, wait a minute. You give me a shot of the back of Yoda's head. I get the back of Yoda's head. That's it. That's all I could get. So seeing the crystal converted and seeing her choke out Soul, she's telling him to stop talking. He's already stopped talking. And then to have the crystal that's in the kyber crystal that's there, have it bled to the fact that it's turning red now, and the red is starting to seep out through her skin to the actual lightsaber itself, and the crystal is being corrupted. And now she's going to the dark side. So that scene where it turns red and it's red and it's flickering, and it's blue, and it turns red, and there it is. And now it is on for next season. As those two return back home, where there's an old creepy man in the cave waiting for them two to get naked. Now, I don't know why these women are squatting, but that looks pretty good. Let's just leave it there. Now, the Easter eggs. I wasn't looking for Easter eggs, but anyway, the back of Yoda's head was shown. She says she got something to tell Yoda, and she blames Soul for everything. Like, who couldn't see that happening? So Soul took the blunt of the blame for everything that occurred, and nobody batted an eye or said anything about it. So that was that. They can get rid of the series, and it wouldn't affect anything. But to see Darth Plagueis the Wise story play out more, sure, but I would go with a lesser budget because they would have to explain where the hell $180 million gave us this. Like, they shot in like two locations. I'm like, $180 million went into this budget to give us this. You're stretching out scenes. I'm just looking like this is probably a 5 hour altogether. If you put the screen time together, I don't even think this is 5 hours. So this is like all the stuff that would be on the cutting room floor added to the actual episodes. Showed us a whole episode of things shot from another angle. Uh, Dialogue. I'm just confused, man. A lot of it has gotten me completely off my square. So, anywho, um, looking at the series as a whole is watchable, but you won't care about it. There's no real anything to make you excited for the next episodes, and that's where it failed to connect. The fifth episode got you excited about something, and then it's like, okay, it died off. And from there, it didn't know it had a lot to ground to cover as far as we got to move this story along. We only got 8 episodes. So if you got 8 episodes and it's moving pretty fast, you need to keep up with speed. You slowed it down to a crawl, and for what? To try to build chemistry with the girl and the guy and showing him naked in the water. Then you take another episode off by showing us an episode of what we already knew. We basically ruined that with the trailers. So, I mean, when Kaneko was dead, we knew he was a scene when he was fighting the other Jedi's. So, I guess we're going to see that down the road, when we already seen that they can manipulate minds from like the first, second episode of the third one. So we know they can do that. We now know why Kanaka is fighting him. The audience wasn't that dumb. A Drake, they're not slow. So if you saw the Acolyte, what do you think of it? I'm not going through spoilers or Easter eggs. I just want to give you my first-hand knowledge and thought of it as it went down. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And don't forget to subscribe to the page and hit the notification bell. I'm out.